Hey everyone, it's Rock for Cash, People's Champ, coming to you live from Cash Stadium. Here we have Team Mazza with us today. I did promise he'd be on this weekend to talk about his radical trade idea. So without further ado, I'll pass it over to Team Mazza and he'll tell us what his ideas are. Let's go, Maz.
So, last couple of weeks I've been thinking not many trades happen, and I want to change that. Everyone is at fault of this. So basically what I've done is I've written a proposal for the other coaches to read and look over and pass your judgment on. So basically this is what it sort of looks like. So I see 3 reasons why trades don't happen. There's no one wants to lose in a trade, aka trade rape. You believe your player is far superior in the trade, and you believe your player has more potential than the other player, even if the player you are trading for is ranked higher at that point in time. So what I'm basically proposing is to bring in a 2020 in the 2020 season, a draft pick exchange in trades. So it'll be implemented. You'll know the draft order a year prior, and it'll still be a snake order. And what you'll be able to do is, with the intent of using those picks as sort of like another currency to add to a player trade. So you're not using just your player as currency. You can use future picks as currency as well. So it would sort of look like, for an example, player 1 and 2020 second round pick for player 2 and 2020 first round pick. There's some rules to it. So you aren't allowed to trade uneven amounts of picks. So you can't have a round 1 for a round 2 and round 3. Because
even numbers.
You can't have. You need to have the same amount of draft picks going in as you do going out. You aren't allowed to, what I call is in blocks. You can't allowed to go outside of the blocks, which is every 2 rounds excluding the last 3. So you'll only be able to trade it in between round 1 and 2. You can't go outside of that. And then 3 and 4, you can't go outside of that. 4 and 5 can't go outside.
So 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6, 7 and 8, 9 and 10, 11 and 12, and then 13, 14, 15, you can last 3 rounds. You won't be getting anyone special then anyway. So someone will oversee the draft picks to make sure all the rules are implemented, possibly.
The cash.
Another thing you can't do is you can't trade a player for a future pick, because then you won't have any players this year, if you know what I mean. So it has to be a player for a player plus a pick for a pick.
Yeah.
So it needs to even up. You can't have 3 on one side and 1 on one side, or 2 on one side and 1 on one side. So it has to marry up in some way.
So I couldn't trade Gurley and pick 1 next year for McCaffrey.
So basically, to get around it, you could go Gurley, pick 1, then your shittest player, and your round 15 pick, just to get around, because you need the even numbers. Another thing is whoever heads up the draft needs to keep track of it, and as well as when a trade's been done, both parties need to inform what picks you're getting. So there's no he said, she said when it comes to the trade itself. So both parties are going to make it clear that you want this and this and this, and the other parties are this and this and this, and it'll marry up.
So technically I could trade my first 4 round picks next year for, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, and have 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 picks in each of those rounds, using your method. No, I couldn't.
No, because you can't go
outside of the blocks.
You
right.
need to stay out in the blocks, because if you go outside the blocks, then you're not going to get. You're going to be nowhere near.
So I could have no first round pick and 2 second round picks.
Yes.
No third round pick, two fourth round picks, etc.
And vice versa, you could have two first
picks and no second.
Yeah.
Yeah, righto.
So that's just to keep it, and we might change that depending on if it works or it doesn't work. I just thought the first 2 rounds of each round would enable people next season to have somewhat of a competitive team.
So this is what the NFL's doing now.
Yeah,
roughly.
basically.
Except
just we're putting a little twist on it.
On the blocks, rounds 1 and 2, 3 and 4.
You could do it, but it'd have to be in a legacy league, and we don't have a legacy league. So you got to tweak it a bit so it's still competitive each year, but you still have some sort of currency for the year that you're in. So, yeah.
So basically, next year when we do, or when the Taco Bell picks the trade order, she'll do 2 years worth of trade orders.
Yeah. It'll still be snake effect. So even if you get round 2, if you get a first round, like if you get pick 12 or whatever, you're still going to have a higher second round pick. So that's still currency for you. You're not going to get the shit pick every.
Yeah. So pick 13 is the first round of the second pick.
Exactly right. So the snake effect will still give you currency if you're lower on the order. So we'll get to the next 2020 season, and then after that, every year would be the year forward. So when we already know the picks when we're doing it a year before, so when Taco Bell comes around, we're picking for the year after to see where our picks lie that we can play through the year with. That's one way of doing it. We'll see. We can definitely tweak it to see what it comes out as, because at the end of the day, the only currency that we have is the players themselves, and people use those players and they think that their player is more currency than the other. Or
they put a lot of value on players that really isn't there.
So with these draft picks,
talking to you, Brown,
it just gives that another currency for if your team's shit and you just want to bounce back a little bit, or just you think that you can do better next year with 2 first rounders rather than 2 second rounders, or you just want to go out full for leather and try and win this year and try and trade your first round for a better player. And yeah, so I think it just gives another currency. That
question for you, Maz, without notice, I just thought of something. With your trades here, will they also cut off the same time as the NFL trades cut off?
Yes.
Because I think it's around 11 or 12 that we actually aren't able to trade anymore.
Yes. I think that would be a good idea, because if not, and it goes all the way through, and you don't think you're going to win because your team's shit, you might just throw all your players out and
get heaps of picks for next year, better picks.
Yeah, and someone could have, in effect,
who wants to win the Dooting Bowl that year.
Christian McCaffrey, Sharkman Barkley, and I don't know, Marlon Mack or something. We've got a special guest.
But
yeah, so that's it. I'll put it in a Word document, so we'll send it out with a video, and you can read over it, and we can have a vote on what you're thinking, or have a chat about what you're thinking.
All right. If anyone's got we'll wind this up. Anyone's got any questions? Direct message Maz on Messenger or me. Preferably Maz. He's the one that's come up with this idea. Yeah. All right. So we'll wind it up there. Thanks for watching. Have a think about what Maz has said. I will load this video onto Facebook. I'll also send this Word document out to everybody to have a look at. And we'll try and get a vote sooner rather than later. All right. That's a cash out.